Don't worry, guys. You just go fucking watch XQC. Hey, what's up?
Hey, man.
So, I am here. You have my undivided attention. Guide me.
You got. All right, so let's get this stuff open. Are you streaming right now?
Yes, I am. If
Oh,
that's
okay.
okay.
That's fine. No, that's fine. We can go. I just better not say any gamer words.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like I was willing to just hop in off stream, but at the same time,
No,
it's like,
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Do your thing. Do your thing. It doesn't really matter to me. Um. Okay, so let's get straight into it.
yep.
The first couple of things really that we're going to go over is what an Aeon is, because you'll need
Okay.
to understand that for you to understand where your bloodline's coming from.
Understood.
So, now, granted, I would have had all this written up for you, but promptly in the middle of Callus Row last night, I got hit by a shitstorm of stuff that I can't talk about here, but it's a bunch of drama. I haven't been able to focus on anything else other than that. But I will at least give you the story rendition and
All right.
everything, and I will have all the mechanics written out for you by the time you play. So don't worry about that. That'll be on
All
the
right.
token, so you don't have to worry about any of that. For right now, just let's absorb the lore so you understand what you are now. So you were once a changeling,
Yeah.
and you have now become essentially like an aeonic serf is what it's actually called, but it's essentially a ganassi, and a ganassi is basically a human that has the blood of one of the elemental planes in it. So a ganassi normally would have like fire, earth, water, air, the classical four.
Avatar stuff.
But you are an aeon, and specifically you are your blood has the infusion of the aeon of balance. Now, where these things are different, whereas fire, water, earth, air, and all of them are natural elements that form, aeons in this regard are the things that govern that fire is hot
Okay.
and that water flows and that wind blows. They're the manifestation of the mechanical forces that control physics, basically.
Okay. So I am the fantasy version of physics.
Essentially, in a manifested form. Now,
Okay.
you're not a full Aeon. You are essentially one of their servants. You have the blood in you.
Okay.
Now the reason that you were made that way is because of the fact you combined the moral good and the moral conflicts, the moral dichotomy.
It was a contradiction, and I became an exception.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're on it. You're on it already.
Yeah. I rewatched the VOD to try to understand everything that's going on. I don't know much outside of the VOD.
Okay.
And what you said there.
This is essentially what your setup is. As you are an Aeon of balance, there are going to be, first of all, your alignment is neutral. That's number one. Now, it doesn't have to stay that way, but your morality, your mind, and this isn't like you're made to be good or anything,
Mhm.
and you're not. It's not like you're made to be a different person. It's that your perspective has changed.
All right.
It's essentially like, I'll use a kind of a ham-fisted example, but how someone who was born rich doesn't understand the value of money like someone who is poor. Now, those people might be the same person, but their perspective has changed. You see what I mean?
Yes.
That's essentially what's happened to you. You now see the world through a different lens completely.
Oh boy.
Whereas once you dealt with the pettiness of your upbringing, of you're a noble, you're being more than a peasant. Now you see yourself. You don't see the peasant and the noble anymore. You see
Just
the
two people.
wind in their cloth. You see what I mean? Like, you see what your focal point shows. So when you look at somebody, you don't just see the person, but you see the aura around them based off of all of their moral decisions that they've made. So
wait, I actually see their aura and shit?
yeah, you have a new vision type, which we're going to get into in a second. But
Oh fuck. Okay.
that's the kind of stuff that you see. That's your perspective. Like, it's changed completely.
Okay.
Now, how you apply that with Flame Wrath is completely up to you, but that is the information that you have. So, whereas before you only had the basic information of what you would see in one save, but you would see it in another, now it changes completely. But now we're going to move on to what your duties are,
All right.
because this is a granted title, not one that you just have. So you have to earn it. You have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Essentially, you have to make sure that no blasphemous acts are formed. And I don't mean blasphemy as in the moral blasphemy, but you care about not good or evil, but your prospect is law and chaos. Right? So you're on the other axis. So the act of Nidhogg eating a soul does not bother you, because that is a natural recurrence, that of his creature type.
Yeah.
So he is a demon. They eat souls. That is fine. However, some things you will be against is when individuals attempt to, for example, change fate, which is the ultimate irony of how you became an Aeon of Balance, that the only way you could become that was by tampering with your own fate.
Yeah.
And therefore literally walking through the door that allows you to see the world through the opposite axis, through the rudimentary axis of law and chaos, which is why the paradox of exceptions allowed you to do that. You follow me so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of your duties is to make sure that other people do not do that. You have to prevent the creation of yourself, essentially. Like if you see somebody else trying to do that, the biggest thing that you have to look out for, though, is individuals that attempt to break the laws of the natural world. So,
Give me an example of a situation like this.
undead.
Okay, so someone becoming an undead is breaking the laws of natural world?
That is correct.
So
You
that
are
person we
against that.
found in that tomb, that was an undead.
That was an undead, yep.
So that would piss me off?
That would be something that you would... It's not necessarily that it pisses you off, is that you would have to correct it.
So I would just kill him.
You would have to... Well, you could, for example, go about that in many different ways. You could assist them into completing their unfinished business so they could pass on, for example.
Okay.
Or you could just straight up destroy them. It's completely up to you. See, this is the freedom that you still have as Flame Rat. Like, how you solve problems.
Would this be considered balancing? If I find an undead, someone is alive that is not supposed to be, would it be considered balancing if I killed someone that's alive that's supposed to be? So I just kill someone else and say, okay, now you can live because I killed someone that's supposed to be alive. I've balanced it out.
You would have to determine that they are of the exact same value in the soul market.
Okay, so but essentially that, like, I am a.
But that is the way that you would think
balance.
about it. No, you're on the right track. That is the way that you would think about it.
I like to balance things out.
Yeah, your thought isn't the morality of whether or not killing that person is right. It's that you're looking at a cosmic scale and you're trying to keep it in balance. So you're on the right track of how you view things now. That is the proper way to look at it. You're already like somewhat of the way there. So
okay.
But now we need to talk about the light and dark within your two selves. So as you are a person, you will always lean one way or another. You can't maintain perfect neutrality. Yeah. You're going to be a metronome. You're going to go back and forth. The more good acts you do, the light side of you will become stronger and its effects will increase. The worse you are, like bad quotations, morality, the darker side of you will grow in strength. Now, the idea is as an Aeon of Balance, since it is inescapable that you will be unable to maintain perfect neutrality, it is your duty to constantly go back and forth. Now, that doesn't mean that you just go out and kill a bunch of people to do that, because that would give you too much in one direction, because you're doing it specifically for that reason. Yeah. But throughout the roleplay, something to keep in mind is that your character will become more powerful as long as they keep going back and forth.
Oh my god. Okay, so basically, spend a day with Moon, and then when I get enough evil, spend a day with Viggy.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Or walking a similar path to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, there is one final piece of information that you should keep in mind that's pretty important, is that you are not an angel, nor are you a demon or any of that. You fall under the axis of inevitables and primordials. Or proteans, excuse me. Now, inevitables are beings of pure law, and proteans are beings of pure chaos. You fall in the middle of them, so you're the neutral being of that. You with me so far?
Kind of, yeah. It's a lot, but I'm taking what I can. Yeah.
So, essentially, alignment is comprised of the morals and the mechanics. So the moralities are good and evil, and the mechanics are lawful and chaotic. And all four of them dictate what kind of person that you might be. Now, it's not restrictive in that you must act that way. It is an indication of how you have acted. That's something else to keep in mind.
All right.
And there is this next part you should write down.
All right.
Because it's important. There are prime actions. Now, normally, whenever you do something, I kind of judge it based off of a rudimentary scale of, how far that makes you go into what alignment. And normally alignment doesn't actually matter that much because it's just an indication of where you are at the time.
Yeah, but it matters a lot
your
for me.
character, because your character is based on alignment, you need to be aware of the prime actions. Now, the prime actions are always that. They are always lawful. They are always good. They are always whatever indication they are.
Okay.
Period. No matter what. It's the line in the sand that I draw, that no amount of subjectiveness or obfuscation can change it. They are that. So, for good, sacrificing yourself is always a good act.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
And that includes like a piece of yourself or your time or anything like that. Sacrificing yourself is always a good act, period, even if you did it for an evil reason. Number 2, destroying a soul is always an evil act. It's a
prime evil. That's why I wasn't sure if it was like it's a prime evil.
That's what he meant when he said that, yeah, because he knew that already from previous games.
All right. So the word prime basically just means absolute.
Yeah, that's absolute. That's
right.
Prime evil. A prime law is keeping your word when inconvenienced. Normally to great danger.
Keeping your word no matter what.
Yeah.
All right.
And specifically for prime law, that's the letter of the promise. That's the letter of your word, not the spirit of it.
Okay.
And then,
what do you mean by the letter of your word?
So like there are laws against thievery, right? You're not allowed to steal.
Yeah.
Right? But would you punish like an orphan child taking bread? You see what I mean?
No, I would not.
That's spirit versus letter.
Well,
that's essentially what it is. Letter of the law is that person committed a crime, therefore they are punished, period.
So,
whereas the spirit of it is basically the letter of the law is the law applied without humanity, if that makes sense.
Okay, I see.
You see it? You catch it? Okay.
So where I'm confused here is I have good and I have bad, but then I have prime law. Is that? And I look at a metronome as I see the left side and the right side.
Okay. Hold on. Let me give you all the actions first.
Okay, sure.
Let's get through that.
All right.
Yeah. The next is prime chaos, which is breaking your word.
Oh, so this is a different metronome with law and chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and that's the one you care about. Is the one of law and chaos. That's the one you care about the most.
Not necessarily. Okay, I see. All right, go on then.
Yeah, you have to maintain neutrality of some kind, but law and chaos is the one that you care about. And then there is neutral itself. And neutral itself, a neutral act is any act that maintains the balance of the world in the primal sense. That's going to be a rare thing, but generally speaking, any act that does that counts as all different morality types as one.
Can you tell me something for prime chaos? I guess I didn't hear what you said on that.
Prime chaos is breaking your word.
Okay, breaking your word. All right, so this is the opposite of prime law.
That's just the opposite of prime law, yeah.
All right. And then neutral is kind of off on its own, I guess.
Neutral is on its own because there are very few acts that are truly neutral, and mostly they deal with druidic stuff.
I'm going to draw something in paint. I want you to tell me if this is correct.
Okay.
Okay, is this correct? And I just want to make picture a plate, and I want it to be balanced.
I'm looking at it.
I want it to be balanced on a stick and flat, essentially.
Yep, and you want to make sure that you stay as close to neutral as possible. Okay. But the ones you care about going back and forth on the most is law and chaos, because morality doesn't matter as much to you.
Okay, so law and chaos. So keeping my word and not keeping my word.
Yeah. So if you make,
I just
so
have to
if
lie.
you,
Sometimes I gotta tell the truth. Where and stick
Yeah.
with it through and oh god.
yep.
So there might be a time where I just flat out don't keep my word, and they'll be like, "Why'd you lie?" And I have to say because I told the truth before.
Yeah, that could be a reason.
Straight up, just tell them like because last time I kept my word, now I have to lie to you. Like it's straight up, just tell them.
You could look at it that way, and remember that's as an Aeon, that's what you're concerned with. But you control the powers of light and dark, which are the morals. So this is where things are a little more complex because your power is indicated by the moralities as well. So if you do more, if you are more involved with evil acts, your dark side gets stronger. If you're more involved with good acts, then your light side gets stronger. Okay. But the idea is that you are constantly going back and forth,
keeping both of them somewhat strong.
Yeah, because that's your optimal strength, is going back and forth.
All right. Now, how do we tell me how you crunch the numbers when it comes to nerfing and buffing me?
So essentially, the easiest thing that I can explain right now without having it in front of you is that the size of the dice gets bigger. So the base might be like D4, for dark, right? And then if you do more evil stuff, it'll go to D6, or it'll go to D8. Basically, it'll just become,
and it takes away from the left side.
And it takes away from the other side, yeah.
So it may be D6 on evil, but now it's D2 on light.
Well, it would be something like D10 on dark if you're fully dark, and like D4 on light.
Okay.
And then like the pure middle would be like D6s. But here's the thing though. Once you go fully into one side and you go back to the other side, some of that one side that you were on stays with you and gives you access to aeonic abilities because you're actually providing your own energy for them, which that'll be explained in your macros. And that's something you'll level up with.
So going deep into one side and then balancing it back out perma buffs me?
Big buffs you. That's not necessarily permanent, but it's long buffs. It lasts multiple fights and stuff like that.
Oh my god. Okay, I feel like I'm playing a complex character now.
Yeah.
God damn. All right.
Essentially, I think in order to just simplify this as much as possible for you, just keep in mind law and chaos.
Yeah.
Those are the two things you got to keep in your head. And your job is to stay in the middle of law and chaos to make sure that there is balance. And the second thing of your job, and the more important one, is to make sure that nothing breaks the natural world, that no one's breaking the rules of the natural world.
Holy shit. And the one example you gave me was messing with people's fate.
That's one, and another one is making undead.
Making undead.
Yeah.
I just worry that a situation might come up that I don't know is considered... Like, if you hadn't just told me that making an undead is breaking the natural world, I wouldn't know. Like, you have to see it from my perspective that, like, a fucking dragon isn't of the natural world to me because I don't know enough. I just need to speed up on the lore.
I got you. And don't worry. What I'll do is I'll always be there to help you as well. I'll inform you with, through checks, obviously, but I'll have you make like history checks and arcana checks and things like that, and then I'll feed you that information and I'll kind of get there.
So yeah, you hold my hand a little bit on that. I'll play with it as long as I have some.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave you out there to swim on your own because you're very new to this. This is, and you're dealing with high concepts. You're dealing with high concepts, so don't worry about that.
I can't believe this fucking ship stumbled upon my lap. I can't believe it.
Feels good, man. Yeah. Now you're in. This is prime D&D, man. You're in the show now, man.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to my character's spells and whatnot, you say I have a dark and light side. What's the deal with that?
Okay, so those will be explained in mechanics when I write them up for you. But essentially, you're still a sorcerer. You have all the same spells. You don't have to worry about that part. But you have augmentations that you get through the light and dark side.
So I augment, like, say, fireball with dark energy or light energy.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example, just as an example.
All right.
The dark side would give you more damage. The light side would give you more defense, or perhaps the ability to heal.
Oh. Ooh, okay. I like hybrids. Hybrids are awesome.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing in video games is hybriding it up. Damn. Okay, so I could... Well, fuck. All right, I got to see the mechanics of this because I think
I got to write them up.
Like a fireball wouldn't. If I threw a fireball at my teammate, would it heal them? If I buffed it with light energy, is that how?
If you were far enough into light, you could turn a fireball into a radiant sphere that healed your allies. Yes.
Dang. Okay, I'm gonna be doing some crazy shit. That's fucking sick. Now you got me. Of course, when it comes to the combat, you got me all excited. So, is there any other notes here before I kind of give you my conclusion?
Yeah, that's pretty much the notes that you need. And if you have any like big questions, you can ask. Mechanics wise, I'm gonna have to type all that up for you. Yeah. And I would have already had it done, but some shit happened, and I have a fighting game thing that I'm doing tonight to make up for the missing session. But I'll have it before you play.
So. Okay. So just my conclusion. You tell me if I miss anything out. There's good and bad. They're kind of on their own. I have to balance those out. There's prime law and prime chaos. Those are the more important ones. Try and balance those out. When it comes to keeping my word and breaking my word, I almost look at that as like telling the truth and lying in a way. But I guess more so with like missions and stuff like that. Like I promise I will handle this, and then I just don't.
Breaking stuff my like word. That. Yeah.
Neutral. When it comes to the neutral part, which is I guess the center of all of it, there are things that I need to make sure try and fix or not let happen when it comes to messing with people's fate. Creating undead and things that you will hold, you'll kind of give me and hold my hand a little bit as we play.
Yeah, and then eventually, yeah, exactly, you're on it. And eventually, after it's happened enough and you've kind of been exposed to it, you might start noticing some things that might be wrong. Like, for example, these people aren't paying the same taxes. See what I mean?
Okay.
Well, you see how that can be expanded, and how you could do good by just maintaining balance. Stuff like that.
Okay.
As an example.
All right. So in a way, go around and make things balanced as I see fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally your job as an Aeonic servant, is that you're an arbiter of what is fair.
I feel like that's so counterproductive to Flame Wrath.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, man.
I'm a new man. I have foreseen.
I'm a communist.
No.
Okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this.
Heck yeah, man. I'm glad you've been enjoying D&D so much, man. It really has been, it makes me feel good.
No, I love it. I like this character. I was very skeptical at first, but now you've explained it, I'm much more excited. I was actually already pretty damn excited, but I was scared. This simples it down for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like a Jedi. Holy, there's a lot of different.
That's basically what you are. Yeah, your power is like how the Force works in the Jedi in the Star Wars universe.
God, all right. I will. Well, there's not really much more for me to do.
That's it. I got to write up the mechanics, and I'll have those to you before you play.
Is there any lore or anything like that you recommend I read up on?
Yes.
Anywhere I could go to read, because I would love to do that while I just take a bath or something.
Well,
whether I need to or not, it would be entertaining for me.
Here's the World Anvil, which I will show you now. This is the site that I use for everything. Right here. And to give you some good links that'll be directly relevant to your character, here is the list of all the deities. And when you've got some time, kind of read through them and familiarize yourself with them, because they represent the different aspects that you'll have to deal with. Like the White Pantheon is the good deities. The Black Pantheon are the evil deities. The Green Pantheon are the nature deities, which are the central balancing deity force. So you could read up on them too to kind of understand. Although you aren't quite nature like druids, you're nature like cosmic mechanics, but it's pretty close. And then you also have the Gray Pantheon, which is, neutral, the neutral gods themselves. So there's lots of things there to do. So I would read those. Don't worry about the Midgard Pantheon.
And these can be shown on stream, right? This isn't like the other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're good. Okay. You're good.
I was assuming this is like your world and all that. So yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah. All right.
I made them myself.
Yes. It's a lot of fucking typing. I'm going to read up on these when I'm in the bath. Just kind of relax and just fucking read up.
Yeah, man.
Study these motherfuckers.
Sounds good.
Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it, Arcadum.
No problem. Thanks for playing my game. I'll see you next time, okay?
Talk to you later, Arcadum. Peace.
Bye-bye, bud.
All right. I got homework. God damn it. I'm a fucking Jedi now. All right. Let me save this. Hang on. What do I want to call this? Ganassi, Flame, Wrath, Starter Pack. All right, we'll save that notepad. Okay. Communist Jedi. That's gonna be. Fuck. How the hell did I go from? All right.
Time to update your UI with Boomkin Eclipse Bar.
Yeah, managing that's gonna be kind of interesting. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of. The thing is, a lot of it's up to Arcadum. Arcadum has to pay close attention to what I have
so
done and what I'm doing.
There are no necromancers in your party, Lamau.
Oh my god. Oh god. Is there anyone else that's a Ganassi in Arcadum's campaign? Yes. Shroud? How the fuck did he become a Ganassi? You're not a Ganassi, you're an Aeon. No, I'm apparently a Ganassi right now. It's a race? He started as one. Oh, he's a normal one. Wait, what? Okay, so mechanically you're a Ganassi, but not literally. All right, understood. So I'm special Ganassi, not regular. All right, as long as I'm better than Shroud, that's important. Let's open up this game. It's like, bro, come on. Okay, so Ganassi is a human X element, but you're human X Eon. Okay, so that's what a Ganassi is. So I'm a fucking half human, half Eon fucking Aeon. How the fuck you say that shit? What a loser, dude. He's not even a fucking Aeon. Some water element pussy loser. What a bitch. Like, what are you gonna do, bro? Fucking bring out your super soaker? Please.